Have you ever stopped to think that the cure for so many of our modern ailments might not actually come from a sterile laboratory? What if the answer has literally been buried in a 3,000-year-old garden this whole time? Well, in today's explainer, we're going to unpack exactly that, a biological pharmacy that has been hiding right in plain sight. We are looking at 10 biblical superfoods that modern science has completely 100% validated. We're talking about everyday foods proven to fight off disease, drastically cut down inflammation, and even extend your life. Our ancestors just called this survival, right? But today, we call it preventative medicine.
To make sense of this incredible botanical medicine cabinet, we've broken our journey down into 4 parts. First, ancient healers and protectors. Second, fuel for wilderness survival. Third, seeds of heart vitality. And finally, returning to our roots. Let's just dive right into it.
All right, part 1, ancient healers and protectors. Think of this as nature's original first aid kit. We're going to look at 4 specific foods historically used not just for dinner, but as literal, on-the-spot medical treatments and serious immune boosters.
Let's kick things off with olive oil. Historically, sure, it was the sacred fuel for Exodus lamps, but ancient healers actually poured it directly onto open wounds to stop infections. And it turns out they were totally right. Modern science confirms that extra virgin olive oil contains a compound called oleocanthal. This stuff acts almost exactly like ibuprofen in the body, shutting down inflammation, but without wrecking your stomach in the process. Oh, and here's a huge takeaway for the seniors watching. Just 1 tablespoon of cold-pressed olive oil right before bed can actually help you sleep so much deeper by reducing prostate and bladder irritation. How amazing is that?
Next up on the list, raw honey. And listen, this isn't just a sweetener. Honey is literally the only food on planet Earth that never spoils. Never. It is absolutely packed with natural enzymes that act like a biological cleanup crew for your system. It's a natural prebiotic that coats the stomach lining to heal ulcers, and get this, if you eat local raw honey, it acts as a gentle, natural vaccine for your seasonal allergies. But here is the golden rule, okay? It has to be raw. Most of that store-bought honey in the little plastic bears is heated up, which completely destroys those pharmacy-like healing enzymes. This stuff is such a powerful survival tool, it's exactly why the ultimate land of abundance was measured in milk and honey, and why King Solomon flat-out commanded his people to eat it.
Okay, get a load of this. Even the pyramid builders went on strike when their garlic rations were cut. Seriously. In the ancient world, garlic was viewed as this absolutely vital shield against illness. In fact, in the book of Numbers, the Israelites were so attached to it that they actually complained to Moses about missing their garlic while they were wandering around in the desert. They knew they were missing their primary immune defense.
But here is the absolute secret to unlocking garlic, and it's a strict 10-minute resting rule that most people completely miss. Garlic contains a compound called allicin. Allicin is basically nature's broad-spectrum antibiotic. It lowers blood pressure, boosts white blood cells, and hunts down viruses. But here's the catch. Allicin is only created when you crush or chop the garlic, and it takes 10 full minutes to fully activate. If you chop it and throw it straight into a hot pan right away, you're literally killing the medicine. Give it 10 minutes.
Wrapping up our healers is the fig. In the biblical book of 2 Kings, the prophet Isaiah actually prescribed a crushed fig poultice to cure King Hezekiah's life-threatening infected boil. Fast forward to today, and modern biochemistry explains exactly why that worked. Figs contain this incredibly powerful enzyme called ficin, which literally dissolves dead tissue and cleans out wounds. Plus, when you eat them, figs give you bone-building calcium, abnormal cell-blocking compounds called benzaldehydes, and chlorogenic acid, which works to stabilize your blood sugar right after a big meal.
Moving right along to part 2, fuel for wilderness survival, endurance under fire. Let's step out of the apothecary and head out into the desert to look at the foods that sustain people through some of the harshest conditions imaginable.
If you had to cross a scorching desert, you absolutely needed the date palm. Dates are basically a biological battery. They give you a steady, slow-burning fire of energy because they're packed with fiber, so you get the lift but without that awful midday sugar crash. They're loaded with vitamin B6 for your brain, potassium for your heart, and magnesium, which actually acts as a natural muscle relaxant. In Psalm 92, the date palm is compared to the strength of the righteous. Oh, and here's a genuinely shocking finding from modern science. Eating just 6 dates a day during the final weeks of pregnancy has actually been shown to significantly ease and speed up labor. Incredible, right?
Then we've got the humble onion. Onions are absolutely rich in quercetin and sulfur compounds, which work like absolute magic for your heart, your respiratory system, and your blood circulation. You probably have some sitting on your counter right now. But during ancient famines, these ordinary little bulbs were so valuable they were actually presented as royal gifts to Egyptian rulers. Why? Because they were incredibly reliable at preserving the strength of exhausted soldiers, travelers, and laborers.
And speaking of exhausted workers, they didn't get their endurance from eating a ton of meat, they got it from barley. This was the ultimate soldier's fuel, literally the exact grain used in the miracle of feeding the 5,000. Unlike white rice, which makes your blood sugar completely spike and then crash, barley is a slow burn fuel. It contains a very special fiber called beta-glucan. Think of beta-glucan as a tiny magnet inside your gut that attracts bad cholesterol and just pulls it right out of your system. Swapping out white rice for barley can actually lower your bad cholesterol by up to 15%, and its high selenium content keeps your skin firm and fights aging.
All right, let's head into part 3, Seeds of Heart Vitality, Symbols of Life and Longevity. This is where we look at some incredibly sacred foods that modern science proves are the ultimate protectors of your cardiovascular health.
Just look at the pomegranate. This fruit was considered so sacred in the ancient world that it was embroidered right onto the hems of the high priest's robes and carved into the pillars of Solomon's temple. Medically speaking, it's an absolute powerhouse. Sure, it's packed with vitamin C for your immune system, but the real secret weapon here is the vitamin K. Vitamin K regulates blood calcium so it doesn't harden inside your arteries. On top of that, it has these unique antioxidants called punicolagens. They act as a literal scrubbing brush for your blood vessels, clearing out dangerous plaques so your heart keeps running like a well-oiled machine.
Next up, the almond. Fun fact, the almond blossom was actually the artistic blueprint for the golden menorah, symbolizing awakening and life. Now, our modern diets are notoriously, dangerously acidic, but almonds are the only nut that is alkalizing. That means they actively work to restore your body's natural internal pH balance. They are basically a biological reset button. They're loaded with vitamin E to keep your cells from oxidizing, or rusting, basically, and magnesium, which is nature's chill pill for your nervous system, lowering your blood pressure and helping you sleep.
And when the patriarch Jacob needed an elite, top-tier peace offering to send down to Egypt, he chose our final heart protector, the pistachio. You know those vibrant green and purple colors on a pistachio? Those actually come from lutein and anthocyanins. Eating these gives your circulatory system a biological tune-up. They protect your eyesight, keep your arteries super flexible, and sharpen your mental clarity with a massive burst of complete protein and vitamin B6.
Which brings us to our fourth and final section, returning to our roots, your modern apothecary. Knowing all this history is great, but applying it, that's where the real magic happens. Let's talk about bringing this ancient wisdom straight into your kitchen.
Take a look at this data. The most profound wellness secret out there was never hidden in a laboratory. It's been growing quietly in the dirt this entire time. If you plant the right ancient seed in the right climate, it will literally feed and heal your family for generations. And they're surprisingly accessible. From frost-resilient garlic thriving in Zone 3 to the heat-loving date palms soaking up the sun in Zone 11, the annual yields on these plants are just astonishing.
So here is the question I really want to leave you with today. Which ancient superfood are you going to plant in your garden, or at least bring into your kitchen today? You don't have to overhaul your entire life overnight. Just pick one. Choose one of these 10 biological marvels. Grow it, cook with it, make it a staple in your daily routine. It's time to revive your vitality, master your well-being, and reclaim the survival tools that have literally protected humanity for over 3,000 years. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.